So J.Cole has officially announced that the offseason is on the way and coming in 2021. So we're going to talk to you guys just about the offseason, what to expect from it, and when we think it's going to be releasing this year. And there's a theory to that, which I'll get into in a bit.
Colin, welcome into the episode. We are joined by you. You are going to be talking to us about the offseason today. What are your expectations? And first off, just to start this all off, when do you think it's going to be dropping?
I mean, my first initial thought would have been his birthday, like around his birthday, end of January. But part of me also feels like that's a little too soon with everything, because I know he's got the sneakers still dropping, and the year just started. He's not sure when he's going to be able to tour again. If I was a guessing man, I would say at some point in the summertime.
Oh, you think he's going to go all the way to the summer with this one?
I do. Just because of because he needs to tour, man. Like, he can't just drop an album.
That's true.
Like, he's not one of those artists that just drops, and like that's the same reason why Drake hasn't dropped, is the same reason why Kendrick hasn't dropped. Like, they're pretty much all on the same level of, when they drop, they also need to tour, just because that's just how they're just the biggest artists in the world. So I think for that reason, that is probably going to come out in the summertime.
Yeah, that's true.
Late spring, summertime, and then hopefully you can tour it in the fall.
All right, so let me give you guys a theory, and you can tell me if you agree with it or you see any potential in it. So I think the offseason is actually going to come in a couple of weeks.
Okay, well...
And the reason for that being is that this is just a mixtape, right? This is just to hype people and get them ready for the Fall Off, which I think is the album that he really wants to tour with. And I think that that's the album that'll take time, to put out, to have the proper rollout. But for the offseason, he's been teasing this since 2018 on Album of the Year Freestyle. And if you go back to that song, at the beginning of the video, it reads, what you're about to witness is a masterclass on preparation, the offseason. That's how the music video starts. That's written on the screen. And then for the cover art of the song, this is where we kind of have this theory that, built up. So we see numbers in the background for the times that a school bus passes. And these times are, read as dates. So the first date read 7:05. When did Revenge of the Dreamers 3 come out? July 5th, 7:05. The next hour is 2:05. That stands for February 5th.
Oh, yeah.
And look, if you look at his announcement that he made in December of 2020, it was an Instagram post where we had an open book that had a checklist of what J. Cole wants to accomplish before retiring. And at the start of that list is features, which he had that crazy feature on in 2018. After that, in 2019, Revenge of the Dreamers 3, which came out July 5th?
2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, we have the off-season, then we have It's a Boy and the Fall Off. So I think that, he teased it in 2018, the release date of Revenge of the Dreamers 3, and he's doing the same thing now with the off-season, and I think it's coming in February, man.
Fuck, man. Okay, no, because we were talking about, because listen, this guy's been teasing this fucking theory, I think, for a good 4 days now. And we were like, listen, if it's not good, man, we're going to low-key shit on you. But that was fantastic, man. I do think so. That's low-key convinced me. But it depends, though, because as Colin said, it's kind of a hectic time right now to be releasing music. I mean, that's the only thing that would throw me off. But in all honesty, it's up in the air. It's up in the air for when he's going to release it. I think I got to agree with Flu on the Fall Off in the summer. I think that's a smart time for him to do it. COVID guidelines are probably going to get much looser by then too. So hopefully we could see that. And, Colin, I want to ask you something, man. What type of vibe do you think J. Cole is going to go with for the offseason? Do you think it's going to be more on his mixtape vibe where he's just rapping over instrumentals? Or do you think there's going to be a cohesive theme to this project?
I think it's definitely going to be more of a mixtape vibe, in my opinion. I think this one, it'll probably still have some cohesive, parts to it. It'll probably all still relate to each other, but definitely as far as the feel or the sound, I think it'll be a little looser, of a mixtape. Probably have some features. Hopefully has some features. My hope is that the off season has features and then the Fall Off doesn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that would be fantastic.
And that's interesting that you see that, Colin, just because J. Cole hasn't had a feature on one of his projects in 7 years. So, do you think that because it's a mixtape, and if you look back on all his mixtapes from the come up to the warm up to Friday Night Lights, every single mixtape does have a feature. So
Yeah.
if there's
Like
one
there's Omen and
yeah,
Like there's always been like the Omen or Boss or somebody,
exactly.
Drake.
So if you can get one feature on the off season, who would it be?
Drake.
Okay.
So wait, do you think that pick?
That's my one pick. Because I just think every time they've collaborated, it's been really great. And I think like, the whole like they act like two legends cannot coexist. And I just feel like it makes sense for them to do one more, man, and for it to come like, and because J. Cole's always teasing the end of his career. Like, I don't think he can go to the end of his career without doing one more with Drake.
That is true. No, I like that theory too because they have been seen on Instagram together. Not only that, but we know how tight Drake and J. Cole are, and we hear it in the lyrics. And not only that, but Drake has been on a feature tear as of late. He has been handing out these features. There's a lot of anticipated features from Drake, but you're right. One that I have to see is J. Cole. If we get anything like Jodeci Freestyle, I mean, listen, that's in my playlist for the next like 4 months. So, I mean, I'm super down to see it.
Yeah, I think one artist that I'd want to see is maybe Corday to be featured on the off season, just because to see that whole story come full circle about how he responded to 1985 and how Corday has love for both the new generation and the old generation, and that's something that Cole referenced of course on Middle Child. So to see those two generations collide on a song, I think would be incredible. But yeah, guys, all signs are pointing towards the offseason coming soon. We also got an Instagram post on January 18th from J. Cole's manager where it looked like J. Cole was filming a music video.
Oh,
yeah.
baby.
So what are your thoughts on that visual there, Colin?
Obviously first thought, he said, the offseason on the way or coming soon or whatever he'd said. And like this is just a theory I have. Is I don't know if I fully believe it's true. It's just just for the sake of talking about it, let's talk about it. But there is also speculation that the off season isn't even a mixtape. It could just literally mean like this is my off season. Like this is the time period in my career where I'm gonna do the shoes and I'm not gonna be releasing music and I'm just gonna literally take an off season and take care of everything else I have to do, and then I'll come back with the fall off. And like and then people also said like, oh, it's a boy. Like, is that a project or is he actually having a son? So it's like, I think he's having a son. I don't know if that's going to be a project as well, but I don't know. It's like it's never super crystal clear. So when back to what you were saying, what I think about that picture is it could also just be a promo for the new Puma shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and speaking of that, I also think that the off season is guaranteed to be a mixtape, just because it follows that whole narrative of like his mixtapes being part of a sports career, where you have the come up, where you have the warm up, where you have Friday Night Lights, and now it's the off season. This is the time that Cole is taking to go back to the basics of hip hop and just lyricism and just give us some raw bars.
Yeah,
that's what I think we're gonna get on the off season.
Not only that, but we've seen producers like Timbo come out and say like, listen, there's gonna be some heavy producing for J. Cole coming. We don't know if it's gonna be on the fall off or if it's gonna be on the off season, but my guess is it's probably gonna be on the off season because I think J. Cole would want to end off with the fall off, hit all of his production, and
imagine that all of his production, no features.
That's I think it could happen just because we know how J. Cole is such a talented producer. He's executive produced fantastic projects as well, and he definitely has that capability of doing it. I mean, at this point, I can't really think of any producers that I would trust more than him to produce his own project. And you know what? And J. Cole's music is so calculated. You go through the track list, there's a consistent aesthetic to it, and it's J. Cole's aesthetic. It's never, okay, yeah, I heard Hit Boy on this, or I heard Madlib or Alchemist on this, or Harry Fraud. This is J. Cole. You know what I'm trying to say? So, especially that it's probably his last album and he's going to go into retirement. Why not retire with your own production? But for the offseason, I think the production is going to be fantastic. I think we're going to see more T minus. I think we're going to see Timbo. And you know what? If I had to go on a hunch, I want to say a couple of producers, but I get slandered for it. But listen, we'll talk about that later, guys. I think it's been an excellent episode, just going over everything for the off season. You know, the shoes, the features, the aesthetic, the timeline, everything is to be considered. Guys, by the way, Colin's profile tags are in the description. You guys can click the links, go follow him. He has a lot of good daily content.
And guys,
on that as well.
Let us know when you think the off season is coming out. My theory, like I said, is February 5th. Let's see if I'm right. That would be coming in, about 2 weeks. So,
and you better believe we got that
awesome.
review coming. You better believe we got that review coming.
Yeah. So I have one final question for you guys, and this is just your opinion.
Okay, let's
go.
So
J.Cole dropped Lewis Street, right?
Yeah.
Those 2 songs. Do you think those are going to end up on the off season or on the fall off?
I would say the fall off, just because I think didn't he actually say that they would be the first 2 singles from the fall off?
He did say that.
So, I mean, he could always, rethink it and, start the fall off from scratch and use those 2 songs for the off season. It is possible, but I think he'll keep those for the fall off.
Yeah, because the rollout, I feel as if is kind of already decided. I mean, we kind of know the timeline he's going in, but now it just depends what falls on what place.
And that, by that logic, that would mean that 1985 would also be part of the fall off, right, Colin?
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
Baby, let's go. Imagine if he puts a track that he called Everything on his future album. Sheesh. But listen, guys, it's been a great episode. Yeah. Colin, thank you for coming in again, guys, and enjoy your day.
Thank you for having me again. I'm always here to get on the show.
We appreciate you.